Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, this is a Sonic Frontiers, you bloody no-good clickbaiting asshole. I know, I believe I am all those things, but above all else, I'm a content creator. And you don't get much worse than that. Plus, the big topic in this video involves Werehog anyway, so stick around, smack that like, subscription button, and let's chat a little bit. Now, after all the hype that has come from Sonic Frontiers recently, from early pre-orders to demo playthroughs and to massive leaks themselves, leaks that showed us so much more than Sega could have possibly bargained for, I had to revisit a Sonic game that felt as close to Sonic Frontiers as possible. No, not you, Sonic 2006, get the hell out of here. Now, while you're probably thinking, hey, wouldn't that be Sonic Adventure? I wouldn't quite say so, and I have many reasonings for that. Sonic Adventure in its whole has an entire different running and parkour scheme compared to Frontiers. My only similar thing to compare it to is the open world in Sonic Adventure DX. I feel, however, that even with that, the main thing that makes a Sonic game feel how they do is the way Sonic moves. I am a big advocate in environment and spacing, trust me, but look at how 2006 Sonic felt despite having a somewhat very immaculate looking map. The glitches with movement and somewhat unfinished character systems took everything tumbling down. You could throw Sonic in a complete different game like Super Mario, and I wouldn't care if I didn't see Green Hill, as long as the character feels correct. That feeling of correctness is something Generation displayed perfectly, and a big reason why it resonates with me despite also reusing maps for a big portion of its game. The ability to encounter these maps again in a different bodily experience brought out the parts of the map in ways we couldn't feel before. And from the demos and releases of Sonic Frontiers we've gotten so far, I'm curious whether you guys think it has that same charm. From what I've seen, I can't necessarily say it does, and I can't necessarily say it doesn't. I believe that playing a game versus watching it is an entirely different experience on its own. But after comparing, let's say, Sky Sanctuary, see, I told you this Werehog gameplay would come in handy. In the Sonic Frontiers demos, we luckily got big portion of Sky Sanctuary gameplay, and after comparing both, I think I like Generations better. Now again, this isn't something to 100% go by, because one, it's a demo release, and two, I haven't felt it yet. But the map doesn't feel like it offers anything particularly new. I actually see constructs in Generations platforming that I like a little better in comparison. The Frontiers one, although obviously very similar, seems a bit more empty for me. And I know a lot of Sonic maps are empty, which is something I mentioned in the previous video, but if this makes any sense, it feels a little extra empty. I know there's theories going around since this is cyberspace, a place where Sonic lost his memories, that Sonic is somehow still piecing things together, and what we don't see is what he doesn't remember. As you can see, some objects seem to be glitching out, not in the red color that defines cyberspace, but blue. If that's what they're going with, then sign me up because that sounds awesome, but if not, what gives? Like I said earlier, despite going on a speech about mapping, the only thing that can make the maps not matter is his movement and abilities. If they, let's say, added places where you can utilize your abilities as Sky Sanctuary to get to different platforms or get around easier, that would fix it for me entirely, because logically as Sonic progresses through the games, these stages should become more familiar with him. So let's say I put my shoes in Sonic's as he's running through Sky Sanctuary. Logically I would be like, holy crap, this is my 10th time running through this map. Let's take this route or maneuver this way so I can get by quicker. Cringy, I know, but if we applied that logic, it wouldn't really work in the game, right? Because if Sonic simply moved faster, we'd still have to control him, and we'd be hitting obstacles and falling off constantly. How do you think they can approach this, though? Yes, you're right. Just like I repeated before, abilities, abilities, abilities. Let us whip around, jerk around the map, pause, and utilize ways to make these repeated maps feel smoother, just like Sonic would realistically do for himself. This way, it's not too fast, we're still in control, and we all feel like video game experts who have adapted from their previous experiences. Now I arrived to my biggest point, and I know you've been waiting for this. No, Sonic 2006, go away! Damn it! You guys remember Sonic Unleashed? The game where Sonic turned into a werewolf? Something occurred to me about this game recently, an epiphany even. Believe it or not, this game had multiple of the same stages, and not from another game, but multiple stages from its own game. You may have noticed, but if you didn't, I'll tell you why. One, you were either a kid and too fascinated to focus, or two, Sega has successfully integrated character movement into changing the feeling of the stages. Werehog Sonic had a complete different form and a way of approaching maps. Now sure, besides looks, these maps are built completely different from his regular ones, but the point is, there is nothing really stopping Sonic Frontiers from doing that. And as a matter of fact, since we're in cyberspace, I'd say we are more than before deserving of that. And Unleashed, the biggest difference is that Werehog travels in the night, and Frontiers, we're quite literally in a completely different dimension. I want the game to make me feel that. Add portals, destruct destructive lasers we have to turn off to continue, new ways we can maneuver paths so we can get by them quicker. If I had no knowledge of cyberspace and a friend told me to play a Frontiers map, I'd have zero clue I'm in a quite literally different dimension and Tails and Amy are in imminent danger. One map I will always remember in Sonic Adventure is this. You see here, Sonic has a different pathways never encountered before. What made this fascinating isn't the pathway, but this. The player can figure out that if you can maneuver your way appropriately, you can completely sideline this and keep going, making for two different experiences and not just one direct path line. And I know you may be like, hey, they already do this in Sonic games, but the difference is this is our first ever experience with this. And if Sega happens to update the creativity, we can have similar situations, but ones that adapt to our current environment and story. Make us feel in control of the game, Sega, and let us create new experiences based off new finds or earned abilities. To me, that would flesh Sonic Frontiers out to be the perfect Sonic game we all deserve. Now, with that being said, I've been rambling a lot, and who knows, maybe Sega could change this, or maybe it will change as the game progresses, because like I said, all I have to talk over are demos and leaks, but more importantly, let me know if you guys agreed with any of the nonsense I just said. Thank you for watching this video, and let me know if you'd like more of this in the future. Also, for a small price of hitting the subscription button, you can save Werehog Sonic from dying to this truck.